Welcome to Royal Pride. I'm Tim Rutherford here with Eastern Hancock Athletic Director Aaron Spalding. Welcome, Aaron.
Great to be here.
It's been a while.
Yes, had some weather a couple times that kept us from the show, but glad to be back.
So we're going to jump into the winter season. I know we missed last month's show, so we are hot and heavy in all the sports, from wrestling to the pool to basketball out on the courts. So we're just going to jump in first off with our wrestling team, as we haven't had a chance to talk about them yet.
Yeah.
We're almost to sectional, I think, with the wrestling team, but I think the team's had a pretty decent season.
Yeah. Right now, our numbers are not what we'd like them to be right now. I believe we have just got some injuries back and a couple other kids back, but I think we're at 7 or 8 right now. We haven't had a lot of team success at this point, but we've had some individual success. We've got a new coach, Nick Hollidays, taking over for first year, and youth numbers are great, so I think we'll get our numbers back up. But as far as on the mat right now, Avery Wills is leading us. He has 17 wins versus 4 losses. 10 of those are pins. He also leads the squad in 10. Trey Brown's another senior that is doing well this year. I believe he's 11-8 on the year, doing well. He's a senior, and he has 6 pins. And Sam Kessler, just a sophomore, is 11-11 with 6 pins. So, and wrestling is a sport where you play against, it's just a one-class sport. So we've had some tough opponents. We were at New Pal last week, so obviously we had some tough competition there. So looking forward to seeing what they do. They've got their MEC conference coming up. That's January 25th. So a week from this coming Saturday. They'll be at Cowan for the conference. And then, as you mentioned earlier, we're not too far from the sectional. That following Saturday, which I believe is the 1st, they'll be at sectional. I believe they're at Warren Central for the sectional. So obviously they've got some competition. Hopefully we can get some kids to advance on through the tournament.
Excellent. And as you mentioned, wrestling in a school our size is a sport that oftentimes does fluctuate in numbers. Sometimes they have a bunch of kids out, sometimes they have a few, but it seems like they always have boys who are competitive and a chance to advance through as individuals in the tournament at least.
Yeah, and then we have a gentleman in our school systems, also assistant coach, who's been working really hard with the youth program, Nathan Jackson, wrestled back in the 90s for us. He has a son now at that age, and he's really done a nice job. So we've got a lot of kids involved in youth wrestling at this point in time. So some good things happening in the program.
And middle school wrestling starts a little later, and it's they have their first meet coming up later.
Yeah, their first meet will be actually I believe a week from Thursday, if my math is correct. They'll be at Daleville, and then their season is kind of. Because wrestling, as far as we share mats, those types of things, so it's hard to do high school. So generally, middle school season is, for the most part, after high school season. So that will start in late January, and then I'll run through almost a spring break. So they'll go through there. As I mentioned, they'll be at Daleville to start out and be on several meets. Wrestling is a sport where generally you might think, from those records, 11-7 and whatnot, that we've wrestled 18 different times. Well, they've wrestled 18 different matches, but generally they'll go somewhere and they'll wrestle 4 or 5 times in a day. And invitationals, our middle school will be doing the same thing.
And as you mentioned, middle school starts right as they're winding down. We said their conference meets the 25th. Sectional is the next week. Our sectional this year are we at New Pal?
No, I believe we're at Warren Central. I believe that's where we were last year. I'd have to check to make sure, but regardless, we're going west. We generally fare a little bit better when we go east than we do west. So, but that's where we got put, so that's where we'll go.
Yeah, because Warren Central probably means we have other Indianapolis schools in there as well. So,
absolutely.
The joys of the one-class system still sometimes with the individual sports where you can advance as individuals. We're going to jump into the pool now and talk about, we have another new coach there as well, and has really done a good job working with the kids. It seems like in the past we've talked about breaking records about every meet, but they've gotten to a point now where it's going to be more difficult, I think, to break
absolutely.
the records.
So far this year, we haven't. I don't believe we've broken any records, which we've, as you mentioned, there for a while. As our program was building, we were advancing, getting better, and breaking records. But we have a new coach, as you mentioned, Chip Sunye. Very interesting background. He was a competitive swimmer in high school at Speedway High School, but this is years back. Chip's in his 70s now, and he moved on, and he was a Navy SEAL. Okay, so that shows you right away. I always say that you have to be a good swimmer, you have to be half crazy. So if you're a SEAL, I think the same thing probably applies. You have to be half crazy with some of the things they have to go through. I know I could never do it. But he was a Navy SEAL, and then he was the director of the dive team and aquatics for the state police. So he's had a lot of background. It's his first time jumping into coaching. He's got a lot of help. I know Mike Dolentz has helped. He was an assistant last year at the team. And Jay McDaniels helped as well. But they're doing a great job. Just to kind of highlight some of the things they've got going on thus far this year. The boys, as a highlight, were our Invite champs. I think we have a picture there of them hoisting the trophy for that. And let's go over kind of the best finishes so far this year on the boys' side. In the 50 free and the 100 freestyle, Lucan Edwards. In the 100 backstroke, Aaron Serberg. In the 100 fly, Mason Larden. In the 100 breast, Ryan Dagley has our best time. And then Matthew McDaniel kind of has been leading the way. He has our best times at the 200 free, the 200 individual medley, and the 500 free. Boys doing a great job. They have pretty good numbers. So they've had a really successful season thus far.
And as we mentioned, I know in past years we've talked about records every time, but as we mentioned also as the program's built, there are the records that are pretty good records now for in the pool.
Yep,
it's going to be hard to get your name up there now.
Yeah, we've had several kids move on to swim competitively in college now. So it's going to be tough.
So we've got a good program there. The girls they're underway and having a decent season too. And I think as we wind down with their season, their sectional is first, correct?
Yes. The way it works, and the girls' numbers, we just have 4 girl swimmers right now, which I'd like to get those numbers up. And once again, I think we will. But they have 4. Their sectional is right, I wanted to say, maybe the 6th and the 8th, something in there is about that. And swimming, the way that works is you have your sectional, you have the prelims on Thursday night, and then your finals on Saturday. And then once the sectional, you go straight to state. So it's a different setup. I did want to mention some of the girls who have highlighted thus far. Hannah Dolentz has been our leader, our best times in the 50 free, the 100 breaststroke, and the 200 individual medley. Cora McDaniel in the 100 free, the 200 free, the 500 free, and the 100 fly. And by the way, she is Matthew's sister, so the McDaniel family is represented well. And then Olivia Burkwine is our best in the 100 backstroke. So doing a great job, keeping the program going. So we're excited about what's going on in the pool.
And the middle school's first swim meet's coming up here at the end of the month as well.
Yeah, they're similar to wrestling, and they kind of start after the high school season's over generally, and they'll open up January 30th at Eastern Hancock. They'll be hosting Belzer and Liberty Christian.
Excellent. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to hit the courts and talk girls and boys basketball here on Royal Pride.
Let's face it, you've outgrown your internet speed. With Ninestar Connect, you get the speed and reliability you need with 24/7, 365 support. So don't get left behind. Choose the internet speed that fits your needs. Visit Ninestar Connects, chooseyourspeed.com.
Welcome back to Royal Pride, and we're going to hit the courts right now and talk some basketball. We're going to start, obviously, ladies first.
Yes.
So the girls' season starts first. They were a couple weeks ahead of us. They're well into their season now, getting to a point where we're starting to wind down and talk about sectional with them also.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, it might be the week of our next show, might be the sectional week for the girls.
It may be. Or actually, I think we'll be talking about it. I think
in arrears.
It's a week before our next show, I believe.
So they've had a good season so far. They're 10-5, 5-2 in the conference, and really off to I say off to a decent start, but they're getting ready to wrap up.
Yeah, they're absolutely. They've had a good year, as you mentioned, 10-5. Beat some really good teams. As you mentioned, they're 5-2 in the conference. So I don't know exactly where that places them. I don't know if that's correct. I haven't down here for it, but I'm not sure if that's right or not. But anyway, so doing a great job. Got 3 seniors who are doing a good job for us. Our leading scorer is Jocelyn Duncan, averaging right at 13.5 points a game. Chloe O'Neill, who's a junior actually, but she's adding just under double figures. Rebounding, Skylar Smith, another senior, leads the way with almost 6 rebounds a game. Allison Spalding about 4.5, as well as Chloe O'Neill has about 4.5 rebounds a game. And then leads in assist at 4.5 a game is a freshman, Grace Stapleton. So doing a great job. Coach Dowd's, had a good season with the kids. We actually host the sectional this year, so that'll be February 4th, 7th, and 8th. So we look forward to doing that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, we do have the #1 team in the state in our sectional, Trident Central. They beat us pretty good first time we played them. I don't know, 25 or something or another of that nature. That was at their place. However, a few years back, I believe Trident Central was ranked 2nd in the state, and we upset them in the sectional, and that's in the sectional championship game. So hopefully we can have a repeat of that. That'd be wonderful. So we'll be hosting that. JV's having an excellent season. Coach Dean Fout's doing a good job with the bunch. They're 10-4. Senior night, as you mentioned, we're winding down. Senior night is actually a week from Thursday, so that's just around the corner versus Daleville. And then, and as I mentioned, our senior Jocelyn Duncan, Allison Spalding, and Skylar Smith are our seniors. We'll be honoring, and then the sectional coming up. So we're, like I said, we're winding down.
Well, since we're obviously the sectional here says it's the 4th, 7th, and 8th, so we will be the week after talking about the sectional championship, probably, right?
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully we'll be celebrating.
But the odd thing to me this year is most years our sectional is pretty similar to the boys basketball and the girls basketball. This year it's
not
very
even
different.
Close. No, it's kind of 2 different sectionals. You know, as you deal with the success factor of the IHSA, you got people moving up for success, and way you do enrollment is what classification is how many boys you have in your school and how many girls. So if it's kind of out to kilter, which evidently this year it kind of was, because you got some teams who are 1A in basketball and girls and 2A in boys, or vice versa. So this year it ended up very different. As you mentioned, I believe in our sectional, it's us, Howe, Irvington Prep, Cambridge City, and it's just a 5-team sectional.
And Trident Central.
And Trident Central. So it's it's definitely I don't think any of our schools. Well, Cambridge City is in our sectional and the boys sectional.
Well, Cambridge City's actually 1A now. In the girls.
In the girls? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the wasn't in Cambridge City, so I'm missing a team there. But anyway, so it's just obviously interesting.
Yeah.
So
because the boys will be talking about an 8-team sectional. So
yes, exactly.
Exactly. Whoever wins our sectional will have to win 3 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, we're looking forward to hopefully them having a successful run here at the end. finishing well in the conference and then finishing also out and having a chance at the sectional. The draw for that, I assume, will be here in the next
It's probably a couple
week from
weeks,
Sunday, maybe.
Something of that nature.
So because it's usually about a week and a half out from when it starts. So we look forward to seeing what they can do as they wrap up their season here. And hopefully our seniors can be celebrating some positive things as they wind down their careers. The girls basketball, middle school girls basketball are also underway and have had a decent start.
Yeah, seventh grade is 5-5. The one they're opening MEC tournament this last night actually. They're 5-5 on the year. They were also the champions of the Randolph Southern Invitational a couple weeks ago. And then 8th grade is currently undefeated at 10-0. And they have won 2 tournaments thus far, Delta and the Randolph Southern tournaments. And they also won last night in the first opening of the MEC. The way the MEC conference tournament works, they played their opening round last night. They will play at Westdale on Wednesday, and then they will go to the Final Four, provided they win at Daleville on Saturday. So that's so we're excited about that. 5th and 6th grade girls will have their opening game tonight as we host Frankton. So they're going to get up and rolling tonight. So good things coming with at the middle school level as well.
Excellent. Well, we're going to move over to the boys' side now. Off to a decent start. Got a lot of young men in the rotation this year. Currently 5-4. 3-1 in the conference, so good start here as we got into the season.
We're very young. We're in our rotation. We have playing on a regular basis 6 either freshmen or sophomores. So very young. So obviously you take your lumps when you're playing that lump, but they've done some good things as well. As you mentioned, they're 5-4, and we're 3-1 in the conference. Some of the leaders right now, Landon O'Neill leads us in scoring, a little over 16 a game. Drew White is a junior, is right about 8 rebounds a game, and then leads in assists, both sophomores, Cole Rainbolt, Zach Arnold, at just under 2 a game. So they're doing a good job. Like I said, when you got a young team, you have your ups and downs. So you got to kind of roll with that and keep getting better. But overall, very pleased with how they've gotten started thus far.
Well, and one of the biggest things when you have freshmen and sophomores is it really doesn't matter what your school is when you're playing freshmen, sophomores against juniors and seniors. That physical stature, because as boys grow,
it's a different. Boys a lot of times mature a little bit later, unless you've got. Sometimes you have some kids who, you got that kid who was shaving in the 6th grade. Sometimes that happens as well, but it's kind of all over the map. So, but like I said, overall, very pleased with the team. Come practicing hard every day, enjoyable to work with, enjoyable kids. They're doing a good job. We have Waldron coming up this Friday, and then we go into a stretch. Kind of starting like 4 of our next 5 games, or starting last week with Wapahani, has a very good team, got us pretty good. This week's Waldron, and then coming up we got 2 really good conference teams in Monroe Central and Shenandoah. I believe is 2nd or 3rd in the state right now in 2A. Excellent team. And then we the following Friday we're home versus LaPel. So. A lot of tough opponents coming up, so we got to keep getting better, keep competing, and see where it takes us.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about our junior varsity team and some of our younger teams as well, and wrap up the boys basketball after the break. We'll be right back here on Royal Pride.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. Ninestar Connect. Community owned. Community strong.
Welcome back to Royal Pride, and we're going to stick with the boys basketball right now. Our junior varsity team has had a good start to the season. They're 7-2 right now. And in the essence of talking about young kids in the program, we got a couple more freshmen playing on that team.
Yeah, we got two more freshmen. Edric Miller and Grant Gray are both doing a good job for us. Not to mention we got several other kids doing a good job. We got a couple juniors.
We got some more sophomores as well.
Sophomores. So they're doing a really good job. As you mentioned, they're 7-2. I believe they're also 3-1 in the conference. So they're having a really good season. Coach Bechtel's doing a good job with them. Our C team, or our freshman team, they've just played 6 games. Unfortunately, a lot of times we have situations where schools our size don't end up having teams, so we've lost our last 3 games. But they've just won 1 thus far. But Coach Paxton doing a good job with them. They'll travel to Union County Wednesday night. And they'll head into, we always have the end of our season into January with that bunch, and we have a tournament at our place. I think it's maybe the first Saturday in February is what I'm thinking. But anyway, so they're doing a nice job. 8th grade they won last night, so they're 10-4 right now. So having a great year. 7th grade also beats. They had both 7th and 8th grade beat Knightstown last night, so that's always a good thing. So now we've so not that I'm gloating or anything, but the 7th, 8th JV varsity have all beat Knightstown. So Coach Paxton's got the pressure on here in a week or so that he's got to where we have a clean sweep. But anyway, 7th grade 6 and 8, 5th and 6th grade are just as far as their season kind of getting rolling. They got several. They're 2 and 3 right now, both the 5th and 6th grade. So doing a good job there. So
and they don't get to play Knightstown because Knightstown
doesn't have a school team. So they're not. We'll get their chance next year at the 7th graders. So. Everything's going good with the youth programs, so things going well on the hardwood.
Well, yeah, and if you're talking about the youth leagues, we have another 140 kids playing in our K through 6 internal leagues.
Yep. So we got good things happening.
Excellent. Yeah, it's always good to have problems where you have to figure out what are we going to do with all of the boys that we have that want to play.
Exactly.
Those are the good problems to have.
Exactly.
So as we missed last month, it gave us time to have some of the awards that are given out that we wouldn't have been able to talk about last month from fall sports. Our county football awards have come out, and it looks like we've had several kids who either were named county football team members or received the honorable mention.
Yeah. All County was really late this year, as it's been several years, because New Pals went so far in the tournament. They go all the way through the end of November, so then you get into Christmas. And so it just got released like week and a half ago. So with that in mind, though, we had 4 first-team All-County performers. Defensive line was senior Tyler Vandervliet. Linebacker, also a senior, Garrett Friesen. And then also a linebacker, senior Chase Settergren. So we're going to obviously miss those 3 guys next year. On the defensive side of the ball, that's where we're really going to have to make some good strides. And then our last All-County member was Cole Rainbold at wide receiver. So all those were first-team All-County members. So congratulations to them. And then honorable mention, we talk about Connor Schultz was honorable mention. He was a receiver and a defensive back. Caden Sotelo, also receiver and defensive back. Connor's a senior. Caden is a junior. Wes Kane also is on the defensive side of the ball. I believe he's also a senior. Houston Swan had a great season for us at quarterback, just a sophomore. He received an honorable mention. Victor Olivo is a senior. And then Landon O'Neill also a receiver and a defensive back, just a sophomore, received all honorable mentions. So congratulations to those young men.
Excellent. And a lot of our offensive skill positions are underclassmen, so they'll most of them be back.
Yes. The offensive side of the ball is we have offensive side of the ball. We have a lot coming back. As I mentioned before, we're going to have some kids step up on the defensive side, but really good things on the horizon for our guys on the gridiron.
Before we get to a couple of announcements on scholarship benefits and things like that in our big 3-on-3 tournament, let's talk a little bit about Coach Schultz, Clayton Schultz. A lot of people around the state have been tracking how well he's doing after he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma back in May, I believe it was.
Yep.
And it was kind of touch and go for a while.
Yeah.
But I think it's important because we always get the questions. So for maybe somebody that might be seeing this that doesn't see us regularly, Coach Schultz has been titled in remission.
Yep.
So great news. His scans came back after the first couple rounds there of intensive treatments. And we got some good news on him. So he's in remission, and it looks like on his way to a full recovery.
Yeah, the community has really rallied around Coach Schultz, who's also a good news for us. We just talked about football coach, but he also recently rejoined our middle school basketball teams. He's been a coach there for about 20 years. But anyway, a lot of people supported him, and a lot of people, he's been in their thoughts and prayers, been praying for him. So just a really great news, and I know Coach is back starting day one of the second semester back in, he is our ISS person. So he's been back working, and I know he's excited about that. So much appreciation to those people who have either helped out, financially in supporting that, or been their thoughts and prayers. It's much appreciated, and it's just great to see.
Excellent. Well, as we wrap up here, a couple of things coming up. We have a scholarship benefit for Settergren.
We did. I just wanted to announce that. Sorry. I just wonder, every year the Knightstown game, when we have it at Eastern, our boosters put it on, and we have it at Knightstown, they put it on, and it benefits some local scholarship funds. Obviously, Knightstown's a huge rival, and we like to do a dinner that night to support some local scholarships. We raised $1,500 that night, and I believe half of that will go to the Riley Settergren scholarship fund. And then recently, and when I mean recently, a few months ago, a longtime Knightstown football coach, Don Willard, passed away. And they've set up a scholarship fund for him that'll be in his honor, and so we've got some money going that direction as well. So I just wanted to thank the boosters for their effort for that.
Excellent. And the boosters' big 3-on-3 tournament's coming up. It's March 14th, so mark your calendars for that. Yep. And I think that'll be it for our show today. Thank you, Coach Spalding, for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next month. We'll be talking about sectionals and all of that here on Royal Pride.
A neighborhood drive-up builds their menu around locally sourced foods. A community-owned telecom delivers fiber optic bandwidth that helps them leverage high-performing technology with lower startup costs. Turns out, going local doesn't just mean fresh, it means better. Ninestar Connect. Community-owned, community-strong.